we will start to teach Pali. So before teaching, we will pay respect Buddha by reciting in Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay. We will learn Pali, or we will learn Pali grammar book called Kaccāyana Sada. Kaccāyana is the name of writer. Sada, people may translate grammar. But according to Pali, it is a sound. So learning in grammar is learning in sound. How to write our sound, or how to understand our sound. So now we're trying to learn Pali to know Buddha's teaching, to know Dhamma. So to practice, to get liberation. So this is our aim. So Pali language is something special. So we have to ordain as a Samnera or Bhikkhu with the Pali language. So the Buddha teach with the Pali language. Brahmas use Pali language. So according to information about the Pali language, whenever disappear from the world, not like the other languages, occasionally disappeared. So in the same way, beings like a Brahma will not disappear from the world, although the other beings may disappear from the world. So Pali is their usage. Another thing is, if we learn Pali, it will support Patisambhita knowledge. Patisambhita knowledge means when you gain attainment. So some Pali language you can understand automatically without learning. So because of this, Pali language is something special. So because of Buddha's language, noble people's language, I think Pali grammar is something different from other grammars. Different from other grammars. And so if you have learned Pali, maybe easier to learn some other languages. because of something special. So for the grammar, we say sada sound. So every language is started from the sound. Later, people are trying to write down. So because of this, we call sada sound. So learning grammar is complicated because we are trying to understand the sound. Sound is produced by our mind. So people's mind is complicated, the most complicated one. So because of this, the Buddha also said, mind is strange. I didn't see anything else which is very strange except mind. So the Buddha said the group of animals is very strange because some have wings, some no wings, like some 4 legs, some no legs, or some 2 legs. So they are very strange. Color also very different, like birds or dogs, corns. Their color is different. So they are very strange. But it is created by mind. So mind is more strange than animals, more complicated than animals. So the sound is produced by mind. So yeah, it's a bit complicated, but good to understand. Good to understand. So our sound will hit the other person's ear. With the ear, the listener will accept. But hitting in the ear is very simple. It's just a sound. You're trying to understand some other languages which you don't understand. Sound is just a sound. But to understand the meaning, to understand speaker's mind, we need to learn what they mean. So nowadays, it is marked by words. If we learn words, which words, saying which meaning, after learning in this way, once other people hit our ear with their sound, so we will understand. So this is a part of grammar, something different from other things. So for the Buddha's teaching, it started from the mind, producing the sound, and that will hit other people's ear. So they accept with the ear. But normally they will not understand without marking before. So we need to mark. We need to mark. So which sound, which meaning, and so which letter will produce which sound. So then it is basic understanding about the grammar, about the sound. Okay, so you may open your book. So first page is contents. Contents. Not number 1 page, just 1 page you turn. Contents. We call it in Pāli Madhika. Madhika is the definition of Madhika is, I think, coming from Madhu, similar to mother. Similar to mother means all children are coming in from mother. mother will produce a lot of children. So in the same way, this contents will come a lot of details. So we call it in Pāli Madika, similar to mother. So preface, introduction, pronunciation guide, guided to conjuncts, key to entries, list of abbreviation, frequently found words, so that order of sodas. So actually, I didn't read that book. I read in Burmese Pāli. So, but here I'm going to say for you. So we may start. Number one is a Sandikabha. Sandikabha. So number two, Namakabha. Number three, Karakakabha. Karaka session. Kabha is a session. Samasa Darida. Number six, Achada. 7, Kavidana. 8, Unadikabha. So altogether 8 sessions. So out of 8, we can only divide into 2. So number 6 is Achada Kappa. It is for the verb. Verb. Verb is something action, like a go, sleep, eat, like that. So in the Achada Kappa, in the 6th session, you can learn verbs. It is one thing. And the other 7, 1 to 8, and so it is a nama. It is a noun. Just so if we divide it into 2, so Pali is just a noun, verb. Noun, verb. So yeah, number 6 is Achada showing in verb. The other 1 to 8, it is showing in noun. So 2 things. So I may need to compare usually with English. So something different from English. So for the Pali, the place is not important. For the English, usually like a subject, verb, and object. Place is important. Subject is number 1. Number 2 is verb. Object is number 3, like that. For the Pali, place is not important. What is important is form of the word. Form of the word. Let's say Buddha can be many forms. Sometimes you may find Buddha. Sometimes you may find Buddham. Sometimes Bodhina, like that. Bodhasa. Those forms we usually recite or memorize, like a Buddha, Buddha, Buddham, Bodhe, Bodhina, Bodhi, Bodhevi, Bodhasa, Bodhana, Bodhasma, Bodhan, Bodhasma, Bodhama, Bodha, Bodhe, Bodhevi, Bodhasa, Bodhana, Bodhasmi, Bodhami, Bodhe, Bodhesu. It is all. So form is important. To know, is it a subject or object, etc. To know that, we have to see form, Buddha or Bodham or Bodhasa, etc. Because of this, when you learn Pali, you don't need to focus much about the place, but you need to focus form, Buddha or Bodham or Buddhasa, etc. So one thing is a form. Another thing, something different from English, is like prepositions. Prepositions. In English, usually the prepositions are in front of the word, like with the Buddha, or without Buddha, in the Buddha, or in the Buddha's teaching, with, in, of the Buddha, of. Those are in front of the word, staying in separately. But for the Pāli, it is behind, mixing together with the word. Like you may say with the Buddha, but Pāli will say Buddha with. Buddha with. Buddha with means Bodhena, like that. If you say in English from Buddha, but Pāli will be Buddha from. Buddha Sama. Sama is from. Buddha from. The same as Myanmar. Myanmar is more simple. Because Pāli, behind changes, we need to learn. From Buddha can be Bodham, Bodhena, Bodhasama, like that. So behind at the end of the word, you need to be careful, or you need to say clearly when you read, different from English. So it is a connection, like in, with, of. Those are connections. So in English, we connect in this way, but we connect the other way. Because Pāli is staying, Pāli preposition or declension, staying behind. So connection is different. Sometimes you may do pipes connection. So connections in English, maybe in the picture different or not, I don't know. In English, connections here, but in the Pāli, connections here, like that. So because of this, to translate Pāli in English is we cannot do word by word. We have to do the whole sentence. The whole sentence. So if we translate in Myanmar, we can translate word by word. So because Myanmar connections, English connection is the same. Pāli connections are the same, but English is different. Only apostrophe S, it is the same. For example, Buddha's language. Buddha's, it is behind. If you use of, the language of Buddha, the language of Buddha. But if you use apostrophe S, Buddha's language, like that. So only apostrophe S staying behind. So most things all are in front in English. So because of this, you need to be careful behind of the word, not in front of the word. So in English, in front of the word, like in the Buddha, of the Buddha, with Buddha, from the Buddha, to the Buddha, like that. But if you learn Pāli, all will be like Buddha with, Buddha in, Buddha from, Buddha off, Buddha, instead of saying Buddha off, Buddhas, it will be okay. So it is also you need to know. So in the same way, the verb usually changed behind. So about that, English is okay. For example, speak, speaks behind as to show plural, to show singular. Speak, speaks. But if you say past, speak, spoke, spoken, yeah, can say it is behind. Speak, spoke, spoken, or speaking, verb ing. Changing is a little bit behind. So Pāli also this behind, but the verb usually not doing much connection. But noun to noun is then there are many connections. For example, if you say people in Singapore, Pāli will say Singapore in people. Myanmar also the same. Singapore in people. Will say like that instead of people in Singapore. So in the same way, people here, we may say here people, like that. So if we say the book of mine, so if we say my book, it is okay. If you say the book of mine, it is different from Pāli. And we may say mine of a book. So this is a kind of connection, very basic understanding, Pāli, Myanmar, English. So if you understand this connection, so a bit easy to understand. It is very basic, but very useful. Very useful. So normally, in one sentence, we pick up the verb. We pick up the verb. Verb is past. By picking up a verb, we have to find out the other things. For example, let's say do or does. Grody, do or does. Who do? No, we to find a subject. Who do? This is asking subject. So what is it done or what he will do? It is asking object. So which you do with? It is asking instrument. So holding in verb, trying to find subject, object, instruments, or where you do, location. So in this way, we can go. Sometimes form is the same. Can be subject, can be object. So form is the same. If form is the same, we can understand it in this way. For example, let's say there is a human, there is a dog. You use a bite. Bite. If so, human should be subject. Human. No. The dog should be subject. The dog bites or bites human. May not be in this way. Human bites dog. May not be like that. So within a sentence, something has the nature of subject. Something has the nature of object. So if we use kill, for example, And there is a human, there is a dog. You use a kill. So possibility is like that. Human kills dog. Normally, dog may not kill human. So by seeing the nature of subject or object or instrument, we can understand what is the subject, what is the object in a sentence. So, but we need to learn what is the nature of subject, what is the nature of object, what is the nature of instrument, etc. Okay, this is something basic understanding about the Pāli, something basic difference, Pāli and English. So we may introduce the first chapter, number 1, Sandikappa. Sandi, you may heard Patisandi, Sandi, the same. Sandi is a connection. So connecting the word or linking the word. So we will show example of English. For example, don't. Don't is 2 words are combined. Do and not. Do and not. So we need to learn how to join, how to be separate. So in the same way, doesn't, does not, won't, will not. I am, I'm, like that. So some people say, this is, this is. This is. If you have a disease, you will not be easy. So this is. Like that. So this kind of connection is called Sandi. So we have to learn how to separate or how to join. Why we need to learn how to separate? Because if we only know don't, we cannot find in a dictionary. So we must know don't is derived from do not. If so, we can go to dictionary. What is the meaning of do? What is the meaning of not? If we know just don't, so we cannot find in the dictionary, especially in the Pāli dictionary. Pāli is more dependent on grammar nowadays. Maybe in the future, may have a good dictionary book or wider dictionary book. They may explain don't is coming in from do not. Do is the meaning of what? What meaning? No is what meaning? May explain. But now, if you cannot separate, do not. If you try to find don't, dictionary will not show you. So, because of this, we have to learn to separate. Another thing is some joining is very difficult, very complicated. So at that time, the commentary will do definition by separating the word. At that time, by seeing a commentary, you will know all these words joining in this way. So joining in this way. So if we don't learn here, although commentary is doing in definition, you will not be able to see. You will not understand what commentary explaining, doing in definition, you will not know. Because of this, we need to learn here how to separate the word, how to separate the word, how to join the word. Why we need to join? So to say smoothly, to say smoothly. So like we learn English very beginning. So sometimes we are not fluent or mastery about the joining in the word. Instead of saying and don't, we happen to say do not. Instead of saying won't, we have to say we're not. So native speaker may not be good to hear, may not be good to hear our sound because we didn't join the word. We always doing separately. So joining is to be smooth. Separating is to know different words, to find it in the dictionary. So in the Santikappa, so 2 words, how to join, how to separate, we will learn. This is in the first session. Next one is Namakappa, number 2. Namakappa, noun. So it's showing a noun. Especially changing of the form of noun. So, for example, Buddha, 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 Buddha. So, how to change behind? So, for example, Buddha is a Buddha and C. Buddha and C. Buddha is, as you know, C is showing in singular, just one Buddha. Also, we show it is subject. So, Buddha, C. C become all. So, become Buddha. That means just one Buddha, it is a singular. It can be used as a subject when you connect with a verb. So, another example, Bodhena. Bodhena. Originally, Bodhena is Buddha and Na. Buddha and Na. Buddha is a Buddha. Na is showing in singular, just one Buddha. Using, we may say like association. So that means with Buddha. Bodhena, with Buddha. Bodhena, Buddha with, or with Buddha. So Na become Ena. When you join, Bodhena, like that. So when you join with above, Buddha will change a different form. Buddha, Bodham, Bodhena, etc. So this kind of changing we can learn in the Nama session. So when you recite Namo Tassa Bhagavato, you know Bhagavato, it is coming in from Bhagava. Sometimes you may find Bhagava. Sometimes you may find Bhagavandam. Sometimes you may find Bhagavata. In that place, Bhagavato, like that, Bhagavato. So this kind of changing behind of now, in the back of a word, behind of the word. So always a changing. So this kind of changing we can learn in the Namakappa. So for the one word, we have a 7 declension, or we may say 7 vibhati. Behind the word, something you have to add. So it is called, we call it Vipatti. Well, the meaning of word, everybody know. It is okay. So like a Buddha is a Buddha, Buddhista is a man, atheist is a woman, like that. So it is quite simple, similar to the same as English. But behind, there is a Vipatti, mixing in together with the word. So that Vipatti showing singular and plural, also showing subject, object, instrument, or location, etc. So this is a Vipatti. So in the Namakapa, the word and Vipatti were joined. Vipatti is like in English, like in, with, without, like that. But for the Pāli will be at the back of the word, like a Buddha with, Buddha off, Buddha in, in this way, in a behind. So, but it is not simple. It is a changing. So, changing based on what? One thing is based on gender. There is a gender. Female and male is different. So, for example, my name, Janaka. If you want to use Janaka as a subject, will be Janaka. Like an O sound at the end. If you want to use as an object, like something you give Janaka or pay respect to Janaka, if so, become Janakam. At the end, you need to put a M, Janakam, like that. This is kind of changing hell. But if you give this name to the Siale, so it will be better not to say. Some people say giving Siale name is difficult because have to change gender. Some have to change gender, and so male to female. So Pāli has. So one people give advice. So no, not difficult. Just you choose a bhikkhu's name. Senior Bandit's name, who is very famous. Just change gender behind. So because of this, better not to say. But here I happen to say, have to say. So Janika, like Janika. So if you want to use Janika as a subject, Janika, long A, just A, not like O for the bhikkhus. Something like that. So the changing, one thing is based on gender. For the Pāli, have 3 genders, like femininity, masculinity, neuter, 3 things. To understand easily, male, female. The other one is we call Nabonsaka, not male and female, in between. So for the Pāli, gender is difficult. To choose a gender is difficult. Not going according to the bhasa. So although female, for example, you generally, if a female, it is a gender also female. If a male, gender also male. But we have something, although it is a female, but the word is, the gender of the word is male. So one of you says, for the woman, we call it in Pāli, Madukama. Madukama means a woman. But the gender of Madukama is masculinity. So it is a normally usage of bhikkhu. When a bhikkhu say woman Madukama, the meaning is similar to mother. Who go like mother, who act like a mother. So it is putting the perception of mother to the bhikkhu's mind. So, so the gender of that one is like a man. So as a word, as a sound, it is male. So in the same way, like a dara or wife. Although saying wife, it is a masculinity, man, in word. As a grammar, as a sound, but a true meaning is a female. So because of this, once we saw the word, now we need to know what gender is. So it is difficult. So we have to get dictionary's decision if you didn't have experience about the word. So, but if you have experienced reading a book a lot, so by seeing their form, you already know the gender. Some form showing their gender. So we can go in two ways. One is to go to dictionary, as usual. Dictionary will decide what gender it is. Usually decide. So, but some dictionary, they may not put what gender it is. If so, it is needed. So about the Pāli, so maybe some dictionary writers not clever yet. They didn't say gender of noun. If so, but to see that dictionary, you need to be clever about the grammar. So like that. So to show gender is important in the dictionary. So if we don't know the gender, we have to see dictionary. So normally we may recite this and that. Some of form we may found as a female. So if so, we don't need to see dictionary. Go by experience. So like that. Without knowing gender, we cannot write correctly form. For example, ဆရာလေး name who usually maybe like a venerable. So if we call that lady become something like that. So if we call a male just So because of this, we need to know the gender of the word, male or female or neuter. So because of this, changing is based on gender. This is one thing. So based on gender. Next one is gender dictionary will decide, will show us. So we'll go according to gender. Next one is ending vowel. At the end of the word, there is a vowel. E, U, A, O, altogether 8. So, ending in vowel, what is the ending? Based on that, it will group. So, it will change. Another thing is have a group. This is not much, only 13 group. So which words are in which group? So you can do similarly. So there is 3 things about the changing, depending on it, on those. So one is a gender, another is ending in vowel, another is a group. So it will change. The word will change. So yeah. Based on 3 things, it will change. Okay. We should finish the Nama session. The third, Karaka Kappa. Number 3, Karaka. Karaka is showing a sentence. How to make a sentence. So, in that session, we show what is the nature of subject, what is the nature of object, what is the nature of instrument, etc. So, if a subject, what kind of vibhati, what kind of preposition you should put. If an object, what kind of vibhati you should put. Like that. So, nature of subject object, putting in vibhati is there. For example, let's say, what is the nature of subject? Subject is a kind of doer who do action. It is a subject. So, what is the object? It is done. Something to be done. To be done means to be eaten, to be cut. So all included. Usually, we use do can show every verb. How to say? Can represent every verb. In English, also the same. What to do, what to be, like that. What to do means all included, right? In the English grammar, what to do? For example, do you eat that cake? If someone asks, do you eat? You only may say, I do, instead of I eat, right? That means do represents everything. So, because of eating also a kind of doing. Walking also a kind of doing. If someone asks you, what do you do? What do you do means what kind of job you have, right? So, do is represent for everything, for every verb. So, usually with the verb of do, we explain. So, subject is a doer, object is something to be done, like that. So, to be done means to be cut, to be spoken, like that. To be built, everything included. But just we say to be done. So it is a verb to do. So the nature of instruments. The nature of instrument is helping the subject. For example, I write. I'm subject. I'm writer. I write. With what? With which you write? Which you write with a pen. So pen is an instrument helping me to write. So the nature of an instrument is helping the subject. So in this session, we show what is the nature of subject, what is the nature of object. So what is the nature of instrument? For example, if you got a tree, you are subject. Tree is object. The knife, which is helping you to cut that tree, is the instrument. So you can say, I cut tree with a knife. So for the instrument, you have to join with a knife. But in Pāli, we say knife with, like that. Knife with. This is the nature of an instrument. So in those things, we show in the third session, Karaka. So what kind of nature this word have? What kind of preposition you should put? With or, to or, from, like that, in, like that. So we show in that session. So because of this, sometimes although we don't understand the form, but we can understand what nature it has when you connect with the verb, like that. For example, there is a human, there is a tree, there is a knife, the verb is cut. If so, human is a subject, tree is an object, knife is an instrument, like that. So you can manage human, cat, tree with a knife. You may not do tree, cat, human, or the knife, cat, human with a tree. May not do like that. So so it is also good to know what is the nature of subject, the nature of object, the nature of instrument, etc. So in the Karaka session, it will show which preposition showing subject nature, which preposition showing object nature, which preposition showing instrument nature, you should join. So this is in a sentence. When you connect with the verb, especially with the verb, noun to noun is possible. So later we will know detail there. When you do connections. So this kind of connection we have to learn in Pāli quite much. So it is a good. How we know very detailed about the connection. Whatever word you use, where you will connect. So you may keep it nearer. You may keep it the same suitable form based on where you will connect. Like that. So for example, the bhikkhu, that bhikkhu is Singaporean. That bhikkhu is Singaporean. So according to Pāli, that bhikkhu is, this is a connection. Is and Singaporean also have a connection. So I may put one thing in between. That bhikkhu sitting near to me is Singaporean. About that, sitting near to me, it is only connecting with that bhikkhu. When not connect with is, with the Singaporean, like that. So if we write a short form, that bhikkhu is a Singaporean. And so we will put one connection. That bhikkhu sitting nearer to me is Singapurian. So sitting, this word connecting that bhikkhu. So why not connect? Sitting why not connect with is with the Singapurian. So this kind of connection is very useful even for English, for the Myanmar, for the Pāli. I don't know the other language, but it is a kind of grammar which is universal. So which word connecting with which? So for the English, we keep near. Also form, how we are sitting, verb and ing. Sometimes you may do in this way. That bhikkhu who sits near to me. This is another way. You put who instead of doing sitting. Who is sitting like that? If you do long sentence, that bhikkhu who is sitting near to me is Singapurian. So that who is sitting near to me is connecting with that bhikkhu. So it will not connect with its with the Singapurian. So I didn't learn English grammar well, but this is according to the Pali grammar, which I understand. I usually trying to translate, trying to understand. Because if you learn one grammar, the grammar one language, the others are quite the same. About those connections, we have to check. So, but a form, like even in English, you may do who is sitting or just sitting, keeping nearer to the word of that bhikkhu. So in the same way, in the Karakakapa, we can learn those connections. What noun to noun or noun and verb, etc. So it is in the Karaka session. It is a showing sentence. Okay, next one. Number 4. 7:30 to 8:30. Usually how? How do I? Okay. Is it long? 1 hour? 1 hour. If 1 hour 30, or should be 1 hour. Usually every day. How to do? Okay. 1 hour 30. Okay. If no, okay, we can rest. Yeah, you can rest just in the teaching in the Zoom is good. So some people go to toilet and get up, but I don't know. Maybe some people are yawning and stretching. So it is good to continue. No need to afraid of that. If we give how to say, we give it directly. Someone is yawning, so difficult to continue that. Okay, and next one is samasa. Samasa is joining the word. 2 words joining. So it is similar to number 1. Number 1. So similar to number 1, but number 1 is only joining in the word to be smooth. 2 words are not connecting the meaning. As a meaning not connecting. For example, I am, I'm. I is I, am is am. So meaning is not connecting. Only the word I'm. connect. So Sandhi is like that. Samasa is different. So the word also joining, meaning also joining, connecting. So two kinds of connection. For as an example, so like a Pāli and Lana, you may say Pāli Lana, Pāli Lana, who learn Pāli, like that. So so like a man-made, man and maid join, man-made. That means it's made by man. So the word also connecting, meaning also connecting. So in the samasa session. So sometimes if we separate, it is a different gender, different form. When we join, it becomes different form. Let's say, Sayaro Unanda Mala, for example. Nana Mala is a Nanda Mala. So two words are joining. If Mala, that gender is Atilinga, femininity. But when you have joined Nanda Mala, so become masculinity, because it is a bhikkhu name. So in the same way, you may know Inguli Mala. Inguli is a finger. This is one. Mala is a flower garland. So Mala is femininity, female. Inguli is Inguli also female. So Inguli is ending E. Mala is ending R. But when they join, Inguli Mala become Basa, who wear the finger garland, because he got fingers he wear in his neck. Based on this, people call him Inguli Mala. Gender also changed. So translation will change. Who has flower garland? So yeah, it will go to number 2, Namakapa. So how to change behind, changing different. When it's separately, so Inguli is ending E, femininity. Mala is ending R, femininity. Once you join, Inguli Mala become masculinity, ending R. No R, like that. So those cases can learn in the samasa kappa, samasa session. So yeah, I think many people learn that something briefly. So I think what they forget to learn is the definition. So they only learn the meaning of 2 words, how to translate, but the definition seem to forget to learn. So if they don't learn definition, together with the definition, when they read a commentary, so these are 2 words, how to connect, they may not know. They may not understand the commentary. Because of this, when you learn samasa session, you should learn together with definition. Okay, I only say introduction is so long. Next one is Dadida. Dadida is the word, according to English, suffix. The word and suffix. No word and what. Previous one is word and what. And so this one is word and suffix. So So how to join? So how to define? It is also have to learn based on definition, together with the definition. So by seeing a definition, we have to know the meaning of suffix. Because in one suffix, there are many meanings. For example, karunika. So karuna, ika. Ika is a suffix. It is a no word. So what is the difference? Suffix and word. Word can be used separately, it itself. Suffix can't be used separately. So it is, we call it Bhajaya. So karuna, compassion, karunika become Basan's name. Who has compassion? Like that. In the same way, some suffix didn't show different form. The same as original word. For example, panya, wisdom. But if we give the name panya to the basa, let's say bande panya. So, but the definition can be different. Panya, we may translate wisdom. But when we translate the bhikkhu's name, definition is changed. Who has wisdom? So gender also changed. Panya, originally, it is a femininity. When we give a Buddhist name, Panya something add, but combined already. So become masculinity. So form will change differently. So definition, instead of just wisdom, should be who has wisdom. So in a commentary, definition will be different. So just wisdom or who has wisdom. Like that. So it is also have to learn together with definition. So I think many people forget about that because of this. When they read a commentary, when they come such a kind of definition, so we don't know, especially for the English learners. So for the Myanmar, we have traditionally such a kind of learning. But some may not know the value of understanding definition. So I discussed a few people. Yeah, they learn grammar. They can read some meaning, but definition and define the word, they didn't check. Always dependent on dictionary. So with just the dictionary, we cannot work for the Pāli. May say dictionary of Pāli is not yet improved, not yet enough, not like English. So we have to depend on commentaries definition instead of dictionary. So if they don't learn the way of definition, the differences of definition, they cannot translate. So it will be so. So to learn together with the definition is very important. The next one is number 6, achada. Achada is a verb. It is separately staying, not connecting with other sessions. It is okay to learn just as a verb. Yeah. Similar to English, but more than English. English like speaker, spoken, speaking, we do. Teach, taught. But cut. Put. We say for the English verb 1, verb 2, verb 3, verb 4. We have to memorize. The speaker, spoken, teach, taught. Those are irregular verbs. Most of verb you add ed to be past tense, to be perfect tense, but they are irregular verbs. For that, a few pages we have to memorize. Usually, maybe 10 pages, 15 pages. We memorize. So the others we think regular verb. We add ed. We do in this way. So so for the Pāli, so many form. For example, Kiccādi, Bodhansarana Kiccāmi. We say Kiccādi, Kiccāndi, Kiccāsi, Kiccāta, Kiccāmi, Kiccāma. Kiccādi, Kiccāndi, Kiccāse, Kiccāwe, very different. So, but we memorize as a group. As an example, we memorize one, the other groups go to that. So according to groups, it will go. So one example we memorize. One example can cover like about 100 verb or 200 verb, like that. Okay, this is a chanda verb. So verb is something different from different from noun. Next one is 7 and 8. It can be together, quite the same tense. It is a kita. Kavidana. It is the root of a word. The root of a word. In English, they call a root. Maybe like a tree. Every tree coming from root. So, but for the Pāli, we say element. Because when we do vipassana about our body, we start from the elements, like other elements, water element, fire element, wind element, form. This is a human. So if a form with a horn, with a tail, it is become animals. So like that, something formed make it different. Four elements are the water, fire, wind. You make a different form. You make a coloring. So if so, become different things. This is a car. This is a house. This is a human. This is animals. So all are coming from elements. According to Vipassana, it is said, Mahabuddha, great lion, who very big lion. Four elements performing as a human, performing as a woman, performing as a man, car or house. People feel very differently, become very busy. If we understand as a four elements, so all suffering will cease. So this is even for the word, we start from the elements. So every word starting from the elements, so can have two meanings. For example, Buddha, body. Those are the same element, coming in from the same elements. Body, Buddha, Bojati, Bodhaya, like that. Those are coming in from the same elements. That means connected to knowing. Knowing. The Buddha is who know. Body tree is where the Buddha know. Body sometimes refer to jnana, like a bojjhanga. So if so, which one knows with? This is instrument nature. With knowledge, we know. With the knowledge, the Buddha know, like that. So for the Buddha, you can translate just a Buddha, a person who has enlightenment. Also, you can translate knower. This is inside meaning, literal meaning. Literal meaning is knower. also can translate the one who has enlightenment. So, Itipiso Bhagava Arahant. Arahant also Buddha. Sammasambuddha also Buddha. Vajracharana also Buddha. The outside meaning is the same, but the inside meaning is different. Inside meaning means Arahant, the worthy one. Sammasambuddha, the one who knows by himself. Vajracharana Sambanno, who endowed knowledge and practice. So it is we call it literal meaning. So in the Gita session, we show what is inside meaning, what root it is coming in from. For example, Buddha, body, Bodhidhi, those are coming in from the same elements. So elements, you may say suffix, join. So this is a joining elements and suffix. So what is the difference from what to what? Element cannot be used itself, about the saying. Suffix also can't be used as itself. After joining only can be used. But by seeing elements, which we can know is the meaning of verb, the meaning of action, like a knowing or seeing, speaking, like that. So by seeing elements, we can know the action someone do or something do. By seeing a suffix, we can know the nature of a subject, object, instrument. For example, in English, cook, cooker, cookery, like that. If cook, this is something different. We want to do the bhajan. We want to call a bhajan cooker, but it is not. It is a cook. It's a who cook. It is a subject nature. Cooker, which one cooks with. It is an instrument nature, right? Cookery is the way to cook. I don't know. Maybe cookery books may have. Like act, actor, actress, action. So it is coming from the same root. So in the same way, meditate. Meditator, meditation, meditative. So coming from the same root. So meditate is a verb. It is a root. A root will say verb. When you connect or meditator, subject showing in subject nature, who meditates. When you add shin, meditation, so it becomes maybe instrument, like a meditation method or something like that. If so, or action or gerund, meditating and meditation may be the same. Meditation method, if we say, it is instrument, which one meditate with. So the way to meditate. So in the Gita session, meditator is, you can translate the bhajan. Also, you can translate who meditate. So it is inside meaning. So in the 7, 8 elements and suffix were joined. So you know literal meaning. You can know literal meaning. You can know normal meaning. For example, for the tree, we call it in Pāli roka. So normally you can only translate tree. But roka coming from ruha, root, another I don't know suffix, join. Ruha is growing. So That tree means which can grow. Something which can grow. That means a tree. So, like that. The Buddha is someone who know, like that. So, in the Kaccāyana session, by learning Gita, you can know the origin of the word. So, elements and suffix join, become one word. For example, my name, Janaka. Jana, no. Jana is who make someone arise. Like that, arising, arise. So, no is showing subject, who make someone arise. Means who cause, it means a father. So, if it's Janika, that is mother. So, this is a literal meaning. So, normal meaning is what is a Janaka? Just a bhikkhu. This is a normal meaning. But literal meaning is who cause, who make someone arise. So, like that. So, it is the origin of the word. So, by learning or by combining elements and roots, become one word. If two words are joining, it will become samasa. Number 4. Number 4. Two words joining. So if the words, another suffix joining, so if it become number 4, number 5, that is that. So because of this, number 4 also coming in from number 7 and 8. Number 5 also coming in from number 7 and 8. So all like 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Finally, we'll go to number 2 to have a form at the end. So, okay, this is something introduction, which is very long. So, for the beginners, you may not understand because you haven't learned the whole. But why I introduce in this way is for the advanced learners. They have learned something, but they cannot do something conclusion. So it is so they cannot differentiate which session showing which. So especially for the advanced learners. For the beginners, you may not understand it very well. I think in the next lesson, you will be fine. So for today, you should learn patiently. So there are many persons is joining as a beginning day. So I will check next day. Okay, so we should stop here. So okay, so to share merit, repeat after me. Idam me punyam nibbanasa pacayo hotu mama punya bhagam sabha sadanam pajemi desabe me samam punya bhagam lavandu sadhu sadhu sadhu.